Nobody elected James Comey president, and nobody made him pope either. In his interview with George Stephanopoulos last night, he seemed to feel he was the moral arbiter for the American people, that he was too good for them, that they shouldn't let Trump off the hook because the American people shouldn't be off the hook, but should be punished for the sin of electing Donald Trump. And rather than speak to Trump on any legal framework, he saw him as a moral blight and stain on America. Well, who asked him? Who made him the chief moral authority in the country? The depth and the virulence of the anti-Trump sentiment in his soul and in the soul of those who work for him is becoming so evident that we can't trust anything they say or any outcome of their investigation. He is obviously so partisan and so partial and so committed to his own rectitude, nobody else is good enough for him. He was on display with all of his foibles and all of his conceits. He is the last good man standing in America, according to James Comey. And in the very process of doing these interviews, he's demonstrating that he just wants the money, that he's going around trying to hawk his book, trying to get it moved up on the bestseller list, and not in the interest of justice in the American way, but in the interest of his own checkbook. I think the whole performance is disgusting. I think it indicates the extent of the arrogance of those who would be trying to oust Trump from office after he was elected by the American people. You know, none of us voted for Trump because we saw him as the last moral man in America. The most that can be said is that he was better than Hillary. But we did elect Donald Trump for the kind of decisive action that we saw in Syria the other day, and that we're seeing in Trump's progress with Congress. And so far, I think he's doing a great job. Today's Lunch Alert is sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. Recently, China announced that as a result of the huge U.S. debt and deficit, it's curtailing its purchases of U.S. bonds and therefore curtailing the lending of money to us. And Japan already has big problems of its own and needs to dump every penny they can into funding their own debt. So when you hear that the United States now owes $25 trillion in debt, more than every other part of our history combined, more than any other nation in the world, more than all other nations in the world combined, we have to wonder if they're going to continue to lend us money. The bottom line is that all of the major sources of revenue or of lending for our government have dried up. We've stopped quantitative easing because we can't afford to do more of it, and Russia and China and Japan are curtailing their purchases of our bonds. The stock market has only had 3 occasions where it has sky-high valuations higher than they are now. 1929, 2000, and 2008. And they are respectively the starts of the Great Depression, the dot-com bubble, and the Great Recession. So it might be safer to put your money into gold. That's why since the first of the year, gold has gone up, even as the Dow has gone down. So call the Patriot Gold Group at the number on the screen, or get in touch with them via internet at patriotgoldgroup.com. Thanks for watching.